Hey, yo, what's good with all my peoples, all my new listeners, all the new subscribers and current subscribers and listeners? Hope y'all had a nice 4th, or as some of my homeboys would call it, Juneteenth. Even though it's, Juneteenth, we know what Juneteenth is for, people who know about Juneteenth. If not, look it up, but that's what some brothers were celebrating that for, once they became in knowledge of it. And knew that that's what existed and that's what was around, and we never knew about it. That's the suppressed, type of history that in our day and age, as far as our generation, we really don't know shit. We don't know nothing. But, we got this Keefe thing, and I want to talk a little bit about Snoop and everything. But, it's like, once you get to the point where it's like, pretty much for the people who have been consistent on this, just being consistent, even though it was probably a short amount of time. I mean, it only take you about a year and a half maybe to come with everything you have, as far as why Tupac is alive. We've pretty much covered everything. And especially the ones who are consistent, because they're going to be like, hey, you ain't covered shit. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, I did this first, so you have them motherfuckers and shit. So I don't care about that. But, just when, it's time to close it out, because, after a while, it's really not going to be able to really say anything else more about Tupac being alive. It just has to be we have to get some type of more, deeper conclusions about that, because like I said, I'm already convinced. I don't really have to talk about it. I'm convinced it's just that there are just things that just don't seem right on both sides or whatever, so that's why I can never really make a very, very conscious decision and stick with it. But like, for years, just ever since I was 10 years old, it's been that he's alive. It's never been that he was dead or whatever. But so now you got Keefe who, like, I wasn't going to not write about it, but I wasn't going to make any videos about it because I wanted to see how far it would go. But then I started thinking, I was like, but wait a minute, hold on, Tupac supposed to be alive, so how Keefe gonna get arrested? And this is the thing, if he's dead and he gets arrested with some warrants or whatever, then maybe it sticks. But if they try to get Keefe and can't get no warrant, or they can't make the shit stick, they can't come back at him. They can't. I mean, I'm not a detective. I don't have any experience in law enforcement. I don't sit there and watch CSI all day, Criminal Minds, and just come up with this shit about how the law works, even though, some of that shit is fiction, but a lot of this shit is real. But, I don't think you can go after him again after that. So if they gonna try to get Keefe then whatever they have, they're going to have to make it stick. And if they don't make it stick, then that's really all you got. I mean, you still got the other players who are left and everything like that, but it's like either they're so tangled up in it to the point where it's like nobody even think they had anything to do with it, period. Those are the only people you have left. So I seen that, just scrolling on the internet yesterday and shit like that, a couple people already covered it, but my whole thing is like, will these charges stick? Because if they don't, then you already know where it goes right back to where it was in the beginning. They was talking about something about this motherfucker made a deathbed confession. I don't even have my phone in front of me, or else I would just read that or whatever. But they said he made a deathbed confession. Like, what a deathbed confession? I gotta go and look at that. Y'all can look at it right now. Go and look at it. He'll beat me to the punch or whatever. But this is like he made a deathbed confession. Like, is he on his deathbed? That's the only time that phrase is used. Is somebody on their deathbed or whatever. You know. But if a motherfucker's dying, then what you gonna do anyway? The other thing I was thinking, like, if Tupac is dead, if he is dead, then I play that side and I go, okay, he gets arrested, and it goes on from there, because you ain't gonna really be able to say nothing. Or you be like, oh, he was arrested. All we got right now is they want to arrest him. They want to put a warrant out or whatever, and they were saying it's imminent. Like, that's what I'm like. Oh shit, okay. But you get it. You get them. You get the warrant. Get everything out. Everything has to be correct. Everything that everybody is accusing everybody of, and everything, and who is involved, everything's gonna have to be correct. You know, or he might take certain people down with him. He might not. He might just tell everything. You know, which is quite common. It's quite common, you know, especially if you've heard a lot of the drug, and I don't mean to go off topic, but, you know, the drug kingpins and shit like that, especially like of New York and shit, and some West Coast, Detroit, and those whatchamacalls, and when they get caught, and they get caught up by the feds and everything, like, everybody starts talking. And that's just among, like, that's what you call snitching or whatever, amongst a group of criminals. Everybody's snitching or whatever. I'm not a criminal, so I can never be labeled a snitch for anything, you know, because I don't do any criminal activity. So if the police get called on your ass, it's more than likely is keeping me from killing you or some shit, you know, and hurting you real bad. But so that's usually what happens, you know, when these type of dudes go down. And, you know, Keefe D, you know, he's supposed to be Orlando's uncle, something like that, you know what I'm saying? But that's really all you can really say about it is, you know, if they do get him, then the shit is gonna have to stick. You know, there's gonna have to be some type of information that comes forward that we probably don't know about, because, you know, some people think that all these movies and all these documentaries have come out, then, you know, that's the reason for all this. But I really don't think so. I think that, like, whoever knows what's up, and they've been around all this time. And whoever that person may be, like, they knows what's up, you know. But like I said, if he don't get arrested or anything like that, then they can't charge him for murder because the motherfucker's not dead. So you gotta have a body to get, you know, a warrant for murder and shit like that or whatever. You know, and there's probably some people who's like, wait, there's no body. There is no body. Ain't nobody seen him dead. So how somebody gonna charge him with whatchamacallit? Oh, here's the cremation papers and all that. Oh, nah, man, that ain't that ain't sufficient. That ain't sufficient enough. Like this one picture of an autopsy. Come on, man. Be serious. Be fucking serious. One angle, one autopsy picture. No, that's not gonna be enough to hold Keefe D. Because, like, then, yeah, like, you know, if Keefe D goes down, then everybody is like, yeah, Puffy's next, because he was implemented in hiring protection and everything like that for Biggie and his camp when they went out there. And they hired these dudes. Everybody knows this. So then, but then you say, like, you know, can they even get Puffy? Can they get him? Does he have too much money, or is he really nobody? He can get got to after all these years or whatever. But it can either go any way. That's all I'm saying. It can go either way. You know, especially, you know, with the fact, like, if you ain't got no body, then you ain't got no case. Period. And everybody's going to be trying to wonder why, you know, but it's like, hey, you know what I mean? In order to convict somebody for murder, you got to have a body. But it's not like that all the time. It's not like that all the time, because they'll have enough evidence to where they can still put you away, even if there is no body. But I'm just talking about in this case, with Tupac, there was no body of Tupac. Nobody has ever brought any proof and like legitimate proof that this motherfucker was laid out. He was no longer alive. He died at 4:03 and whatever. So it goes one way. They send a warrant out for him. They arrest him and it sticks, or they don't even pursue with it at all. Because like I said, once they do that, I don't think you could go back after him after that, or something like that. And lastly, I want to talk about Snoop Dogg. Now, I don't really talk about Snoop because it's like I don't know. Like I'm not indifferent about Snoop. It's just Snoop was like a person when I was growing up, living in Long Beach. If you from Long Beach, then you already know that's where Snoop is from. Snoop is from Long Beach. He went to Poly on the east side. On motherfucking Atlantic. All the way down Atlantic. I forgot the cross streets, but yeah. I went to Milliken. I went to Artesia. I went to Lakewood. Didn't go to Jordan, even though that's where I lived. I lived on the north side of Long Beach. Didn't go to Jordan. I couldn't go to Jordan. Too much gangbang. Too much gangbang. I know it was gonna be gangbanging everywhere, but shit. Fucking Jordan was hood to the motherfucker. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about a little bit about his jealousy with Pac or whatever. Cause I forgot who had put out I think it was the Art of Dialogue? The Art of Dialogue had put out something where they had this interview. I guess it was not long after Tupac died, and Snoop was like, man, I don't want to talk about no fucking Tupac, and then he switched up, and at the same time was like, let my nigga rest in peace or whatever. But it's just like, it was that jealousy, I guess, cause like I said, like Snoop Dogg, when it comes to Long Beach, the only niggas that really knew Snoop Dogg was, the niggas like that's in their 50s right now. And all them motherfuckers. There was no little niggas around Snoop like that unless they was gangbanging. And like I said, if you from Long Beach, then you'll know Insanes and 20 Crips, they don't get along with each other. Not saying they don't, because I didn't see them niggas kick it all the time. I mean insane Crips and shit like that. But he from 20s. But there's things that said he was from Insane. So and I know people that know him personally that have pictures of him and everything with him, and they actually they used to run together and shit like that. But I mean, I've never really heard any stories. I just seen the pictures, and he's just like, yeah, they talk about him like he's just a regular dude. Like Snoop ain't no celebrity in Long Beach, pretty much. Maybe to some people, but I never seen him when I was out there. If I did, I barely saw him. I probably seen Snoop once or twice. I barely saw him, but somebody was like, oh yeah, Snoop over here. I was like, okay. But anyway, but the jealousy, because I remember in the interview, he was like, yeah, I want to be the first hip hop artist in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I was like, damn. Like he really thinks his bars are tight like that. Like, bars you ain't got no bars. Snoop ain't got no fucking bars. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, like, what makes him stand out initially is his voice. Snoop has a voice, like he has one of the best hip hop voices in hip hop. That's undeniable. You put the record on right now, Snoop. You ain't got to say, well, who that? That sound like Snoop. No, that's Snoop Dogg. And then, when you get to his appearance and everything, he's tall. He looks like I guess people say he look like a German, not a German Shepherd, but a Doberman Pinscher and shit like that. He look like a dog. Pretty much. That's why they called him Snoopy and all that other stuff. But, he thought that, he was supposed to be the one in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame first. And like I said, this is an old interview, so it's not a recent interview, so I'm not talking in that sense. I'm just saying, like, he was like, well, this is what I think I'm going to be. I want to be the first one. You know, and it's cool to have those ambitions, you know, cause I mean, if you an artist, if you a musician like I am, if you're a hip hop artist and shit like that, those are the things that you strive to do, you know, but like when it comes to lyrics and everything like that, you know, Snoop ain't gonna be up there for a while. He ain't gonna be up there for a while. I mean, he probably had to pass away before they put him in. I mean, they might go ahead and just put him in, but, he done crossed over to all types of cultures and shit like that. So, you know, maybe he is going to be next, but it's a whole lot of other motherfuckers. Cause I had to look up the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, even though it really doesn't matter. But, you know, why they put niggas in there, I don't know. It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know why they put rappers or, you know, I don't know. So anyway, you know, I went back and, you know, they didn't even have Rakim. Rakim ain't even in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. LL Cool J ain't even in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Big Daddy Kane. And then the motherfucker, the only one out of them who's in there is Chuck D. Now Chuck D belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's my number one favorite rapper. My number one favorite. I mean, not even KRS-One, you know. But if I had to take it back, then Chuck is on my number one. Out of all time, Chuck D is number one. Yeah, over Tupac. You damn right. Chuck D, shit. Chuck D laid that shit out for everybody. Fuck out of here. But, you know, like I said, you know, I guess, you know, there was always some jealousy because we really never knew about it until people started talking about it. Everybody thought that Pac and Snoop was always cool. But all that was just business. They really never liked each other. Like I said, people start talking, you know, maybe it's not the right story, but this is what I was saying in my last video. It says people will come and tell stories that people done already told, and some people be like, are they lying? Or yeah, they'll add to it or they'll take from it. You know, so like I forgot which female, I don't know if it was Natasha, Jewel, I don't know who it was, but she was saying something about, you know, Snoop and the Dog Pound and everything that had Tupac music and shit like that, and you know, and I heard this years ago. I just never spoke on it. I just wanted to listen. I just wasn't worried about making videos all the time about it. I had to focus and listen and everything, so I could be able to talk about it now because I didn't heard everything, so I can just talk. I mean, if anybody else bring anything new, then yeah. But, you know, other than that, it's like I just basically know what everybody else knew at the same time, or, you know, or we had been already knowing. But, you know, anyway, so he had the Thug Style album, and that's what I wanted to do. Like, I'm gonna have to break down some of these motherfucking songs, you know, and a lot of them songs I think are on Are You Still Down. I think a lot of that Thug Style shit is on there because he was screaming Thug Style a whole lot on Are You Still Down. So I think that probably was that album that he probably scrapped or whatever. You know, there probably was a whole lot of other songs that niggas kept for themselves. But anyway, so, you know, he already didn't like him then, you know. Then what was the other shit that they was talking about? You know about Snoop, you know, Tupac said he was corny. You know, take all day doing one song. He was telling that to Frank, I guess. So these niggas never liked each other. So I guess like why Snoop is putting on the front, I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. But it's not like he's denying it. Like he came out years later and said that. Cause I mean, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, Snoop was back, you know. He was back because, of course, you know, he couldn't do nothing because of the murder trial or anything like that. But, you know, he was back. But he never mentioned Tupac like that. He never really said anything, but he never came across and said anything about, you know, they fell out or, you know, they didn't really get along like that, you know. I'm not even finna mention about the shit about him going on the radio. Talking about Snoop, Puffy and Big, my homeboys and everything. And the thing about it is, some people will look at it on a macro level. Some people will look at it on a macro and god damn it, miniature. It's not miniature, micro. There you go, macro and micro. So this is how people are looking at all of this shit in these situations. You know, it's this is macro and it's micro conceptions. You know, and personalities. It's people who just look at it for what it is. And there's some people, that's the micro people, the people who actually look into the shit, you know. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention Snoop Dogg, you know, just by the little interview that I heard. There was always jealousy to me, just like when I just look at it now. You know, of course, I was too young at the time to understand if there was any animosity between Snoop and Pac, because the only time we saw them together was when they was on TV. We didn't see them in person, so we never knew what the fuck was going on. You know, but I don't know. And then when you mention Keefe D, you got to think of like Snoop Dogg too. Cause I don't even know, even though like Southside and you know, Southside Crip, I don't know, like, I know Compton and Long Beach, they link up or whatever, but like, not all Crips get along with Crips. As you can see in Long Beach, the 20s and Insanes don't get together, and they both Crips. But, I would want to know where him and Lil Half Dead come in along with Keefe D and all that. You know, cause it's like, all these police officers, it seemed like, had gangs of who they were working with, and they were probably working with feds anyway. So a lot of these officers, it was the feds with the officers that had the gang members on their payroll. Then came the rappers. The rappers was, you know, pretty much the entertainers and shit. They were like the smoke screen and shit for whatever was going on in the background. But I mean, that's just what it seems like, because it's like you got Snoop Dogg, you got Lil Half Dead, who's mentioned, and I seen him before. I was a little kid though. He's in Long Beach. Lil Half Dead's from Long Beach, or whatever. I seen him on the north side. I never knew who he was. And the person that introduced me to him was like, he was embarrassed because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who Lil Half Dead was. I mean, shit, at that time, I think I was in like DMX or some shit like that. DMX had just came out or something like that. And I was like, I think I heard Lil Half Dead and shit like that, like Crooked Eye and all them. Like, I didn't start knowing about them until I got a little older. I wasn't checking for them. I mean, the music industry was still hot at the time. It's not like it is now. It was still shit. It's a lot of classic motherfuckers who hadn't even, like, shit, Nelly wasn't even out yet. That's how long ago it was. But anyway, yeah, I just think that, you know, it's going to be crazy about what I mentioned in the beginning. However it goes, I'm pretty sure, you know, whatever happens, everybody, you know, was going to keep it posted, keep y'all posted, depending on who y'all listen to or whatever. And like I said, I understand. And, I appreciate y'all coming over here and listening to me when y'all do. But, yeah, man, y'all listen to that Snoop Dogg interview and read more into, you know, what's going on with Keefe D. And I think that's about it. I think that everything that I wanted to say, I probably said. Usually when I get off this motherfucker, I'm like, I'm finna make a part two. I'm like, nope. I'll say that shit for another time. It is not that serious. It is not that serious. Nigga page ain't popping like that where people are demanding material. I mean, I'm not talking about a couple people or several people. I'd be like hundreds of, you know, thousands of people requesting material, you know. So even though, like, you know, I'm saying, like, you know, I'm happy with the little following I got right now. I don't know who y'all are. I just know that, you know, virtually it's saying that I got these subscribers, and maybe these people are real, maybe they not, you know, maybe these people are just like me, or they robots. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, peace, y'all.